After a few hours of going crazy and crying and figuring out what to do, I can finally say thank God I got the pan down. Now, the culprit of what happened here was they say you can reuse the original gasket. My best suggestion is you probably want to replace it if you're going to drop the pan. We did the oil pump yesterday, put a new O-ring on it, got everything back together, started it up, and within 2 minutes, the back of the pan started blowing excessive amount of oil. Didn't realize that I left all the back bolts loose on this side, which was my mistake because I was kind of rushing it because I wanted to go home. And retightened everything, thought it solved the issue, and it didn't, and then it just kept blowing more and more oil out. The culprit was these little rubber holes here, supposed to seal this oil filter. I guess is a pressure or something like that, I don't know, but all I know, the oil filter sits below. As you can see from there, oil travels through the filter, through these pipes, and it's supposed to go through here, and then supposed to go somewhere, don't know where, not an engineer. So apparently when I dropped the pan, these were compromised and actually fell off. So once I put the pan back on, I didn't notice it, but the old one, as you can see, is missing those rubbers. So those rubbers are kind of like seals. There were no seals, so it just kept blowing the oil right out from the back of it. So I'm assuming because now that this truck now makes more oil pressure, and it was running on minimal, below minimum the last few weeks, that finally those seals gave. So, and because GM to be riveted the original gasket, because that was the original that I just pried off, because they riveted it to the pan to keep it aligned during the engine assembly process. So what I'm seeing here, looks like you can't rivet the aftermarket one on, but it should be no issue. I'm just gonna, these actually has like Loctite seals to it, not Loctite, but kind of like sealing. So once you put the screws in, it should keep the screws in place. So I should just put the pan back on, tighten it down, and that should be it. Then drain whatever oil left in here, because I was cleaning the pan a little bit. I guess it mixed up with the oil at the bottom, so I'm gonna just take all that oil out and put fresh oil in it. See if it holds pressure now. Hopefully it should be done, but this was the main headache of everything. I wanted to avoid replacing the gasket, but luckily I had an extra gasket because I had a funny feeling this was gonna happen. I mean, engine with 312,000 miles, it's seen better days, so might as well just go with the flow and replace that gasket. So now she should hold pressure, run better, and hopefully she'll be on the road soon.